Dímelo mi gente, this is Travel Football Fan. Thank you for joining me today. On today's episode, we're going to discuss when the 2026 FIFA World Cup tickets might go on sale. So why is it important to know when these tickets go on sale? Well, it's for several reasons, okay? First off, it gives us the exact amount of time that we have left in order to save money to go ahead and purchase those tickets. Second, it also gives us a good time frame to know when to sign up for the travel rewards credit cards or for the cashback credit cards. So in that way we can maximize the spending that we're doing and earn those bonus points or cashback that these credit cards offer. Of course, since then we know how much money we need to save and which credit cards we need to aim for, that means it also gives us time to either pick up side hustles and or improve our credit score in the year leading up to the purchase of those tickets. So overall, it's about giving us the time frame that we need in order to financially plan our purchases for 2026. And of course, this is excluding the number of cities that you're going to be traveling to, the types of hotels that you're going to be booking, the number of flights, car rentals, etc. Pero bueno, let's talk about the potential timelines of when these tickets could go on sale. Alright, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and review the ticket sales phases for the previous two World Cups and see what information we can get to accurately predict when the 2026 FIFA World Cup tickets will go on sale. Let's start with the Qatar World Cup, okay? Their sales phase started 11 months before the start of the tournament, which was November 20th. So on January the 19th, the first sales phase went online, and that lasted until March 21st with a second mini window in there between March 22nd to March 29th. Then the World Cup draw happened on April 1st, and then the following two sales phases, you already knew where the teams were playing in what stadiums, okay? And so that second sales phase went from April the 5th to April 28th, and then the final phase from September 27th all the way to the end of the tournament on December 18th. As for the Russia 2018 World Cup, they started their sales phase 9 months before the start of the tournament, and it is important to note, Qatar was a Winter World Cup, whereas the Russian World Cup was a Summer World Cup. So they started their sales tickets on September the 14th, and that lasted until October the 12th. Then we had the World Cup draw on December the 1st, which could be also another key clue that we have to keep in mind here. And then the second sales phase began on December 5th all the way to January 31st, with the final sales window from April 18th to July 15th, which was the end of the World Cup itself. So with that information in hand, you're thinking to yourself probably, hey, maybe we should consider the Russian World Cup timeline, since that was the last Summer World Cup that we had. They started their ticket sales phase 9 months before, so that means that the tickets will go on sale on September 11th, 2025, right? Well, there are some differences here between the Russian World Cup and this upcoming tournament's World Cup here in USA, Mexico, and Canada. For one, we are increasing the number of teams from 32 to 48. So maybe FIFA needs a little bit more time in order to conduct the sale of these tickets. I mean, Qatar had 11 months to sell their tickets, and they only had 32 teams playing in their tournament, and they were a smaller country. So is it possible that the USA, Mexico, Canada World Cup will have a sales phase window of longer than 12 months? I doubt it, and here's why. The United States is hosting the inaugural Mundial de Clubes of FIFA next summer. So that already puts a massive speed bump to any plans for FIFA to sell tickets before the start of that tournament, which begins on June 15th. And the Mundial de Clubes is going to last until July 13th. So if FIFA wants the Mundial de Clubes to be a successful tournament, both in terms of fan attendance and, of course, monetarily speaking, they cannot be selling World Cup tickets before June 15th because it's going to interfere with the ticket sales phase of the Mundial de Clubes. Because then for that matter, we would have said, okay, tickets are going to go on sale on June 11th, 2025, 1 year out from the start of the 2026 World Cup. That can't happen. That would only be 4 days away from the start of the Mundial de Clubes. So instead, based on the fact that we had the Mundial de Clubes kind of in the middle of a potential sales phase, the Qatar World Cup having had 11 months to sell tickets and the Russian World Cup having had 9 months to sell the tickets, I believe that my final prediction for when these tickets will go on sale will be either July 20th or July 27th. Yes, that's specific. I'm going with my predictions, and here's why. Because July 27th would represent 10 and a half months before we start the 2026 World Cup. July 20th would be at least 10 and 3/4 months before the start of the actual tournament. And so, of course, what's making this prediction, at least what's making that my prediction is the Mundial de Clubes. The Mundial de Clubes, again, ends on July 13th. And so FIFA does not want to interfere with the ticket sales of that tournament, okay? And so instead, they would be more than practical and happy to move the World Cup ticket sales windows after the tournament. Now, why could I be wrong about this prediction? Well, for several reasons. For one, maybe FIFA decides to set up the Mundial de Clubes ticket sales windows to the beginning of 2025. We don't have any information as to when those tickets for that tournament will go on sale. Maybe they decide to do something like a January through March, and then, open another window, throughout the tournament itself, and then begin selling the World Cup tickets, say April, May, to at least squeeze in one window before the start of the Mundial de Clubes, and then restart the World Cup ticket sales period after the Mundial de Clubes. If you think that sounds complicated, I agree. It does sound complicated, but FIFA might want to go with that pathway in order to maximize the amount of money that they're making right off the bat. Of course, the other factor that we need to take into consideration is, when is the World Cup draw? For the summer tournament of Russia 2018, the World Cup draw happened on December 1st. So potentially, we could be seeing a similar timeline for the draw. We also had to let out all the World Cup qualifiers play out throughout 2025. And so you really can't imagine FIFA selling tickets for the World Cup in April and May of 2025 when we probably won't even have anybody qualify for the World Cup just yet. So that's why I return to my prediction of July 20th or July 27th being the date when FIFA begins the first sales window of those tickets. Now, as you can probably tell, wait a minute, we still won't know which teams qualify for the World Cup just yet. Maybe we'll know Japan, for example, since they're playing really good in the Asian qualifiers. Yes, that is very true. That first sales window will be the blind sales window, right? And if there's a better term for it, please let me know in the comments. But basically, that sales window is for those of you that just want to go to the World Cup final, for example. You don't care what team gets there to the final. You just want to go to that game. Or if you want to go games to a specific city because you're not looking forward to or looking to travel to any other cities. You just want to stay in your city. So you just want to go ahead and buy tickets for that match. Okay. If you're a fan in one of those two situations, right? You want to go to a specific knockout game or you just want to go to a game in your city. The first sales window is perfect for you because you get ahead of everybody else that are going to be fans of countries like myself, like Colombia, like the United States, and that are wanting to at least see one of these games for their national team. Mind you, the U.S. is the only one that's qualified. Colombia isn't yet. Then you would have to wait till potentially the second sales window or the third sales window to go ahead and buy those tickets after the World Cup draw happens. So that first sales window, don't discount it if you're looking to go for those two reasons. Again, for those that are seeking knockout games or for those that are just looking to go to a game or two within their own city. So I hope this video was helpful in order to better help you understand how the World Cup ticket sales timeline works. I don't have information as to the specifics. How many tickets can you apply to? How many people can you put in your application? Those details have not been released by FIFA yet. Of course, I will report those to you as soon as I get them. But in the meantime, make sure you subscribe to my channel. This is the level of content and information that I want to provide to you. Okay, so make sure you do that. You ring the bell for any new notifications of when I publish videos, both long form and shorts. And again, just continue to stay tuned. In the meantime, continue to save money in a high yield savings account. Continue to build up points and miles. Remember, you don't always need a credit card to get travel points and miles. There are free ways to do that. And of course, go ahead and feel free to support me on Patreon. Go ahead and support me through my various links on Linktree. This is Travel Football Fan. Hasta la próxima. Ahí nos vemos.